Hello there.
Hi,
Hi, welcome to the stream.
thank you.
Sorry that the timing got a bit odd there, but thank you
Oh, that's fine.
nonetheless
I'm
for.
sorry I dropped out so quickly.
It's okay. It's just sometimes people don't always get back to me, and I always prioritize those who are live and try to reach them over Discord. So thanks for hopping back on.
Thank you.
All right. So can you talk a little bit about your role on this project?
Yeah. Basically, it's just two of us. My friend ProdigalSon, he does the coding, and I do basically everything else. I mean, we used an asset pack for a lot of the imagery, but I usually do the graphic design, level design, sound design. So I'd use a pack for the animals and the people.
Mm-hmm.
But I created some stuff like the ARK and some of the modern stuff, and then the level design and the sound design is most.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that even if you're using art assets from another pack, like the art assets that you've created, really seem to match very nicely. So it's not at all incongruous. Like sometimes I have seen that issue where other people try to use assets from a different pack that they didn't create, and as a result, it doesn't really jive. But yeah, these all look really nice. Um, yeah, 7 days, send rain, and wipe every living. Yes. Okay, so read that, and then we got to select a person, build a path, collect a pair, enter the arc. So can I start? Oh, okay. I will collect things as I pass by them. Got it. So I've got to pass by something like that. Okay, I think I am understanding how this works.
You got it.
Oh, maybe not. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
gotta enter the arc.
Okay. I didn't realize I could hold two characters. I thought I would have to pass by a door and then like drop a character off and then come
Oh,
back.
one other person actually said the same thing. They were like, "Oh, do I drop it off?" No, you just enter.
Okay, so space stops and then I can left click to drag backwards. Okay, and then you drag your character into the end there. Got it.
And you can edit a path from anywhere. You can click anywhere on it
Okay,
from that tile.
nice. Yeah, that definitely helps. I'll have to experiment with that a bit. Uh, okay, so I want to pass by, and then I can go over my own path like that. Got it.
Yeah, got it.
All right, so I think you've got these figured out at this point. So can you talk a little bit about the development process for the game?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the jams we do, um, we kind of wait to hear the theme and then go crazy brainstorming and all that. And then the last two, we just took a step back and we said, you know what? Let's forget about the theme for a second. What do we want to do? What do we want to have fun with? What's on our mind? And if the theme happens to fit or we tweak it, sure. And so for this one, have you ever heard the game Cosmic Express?
No, I haven't.
It's kind of like this. You picking up aliens and dropping them off. You're like a little train. There's only one path. It's not multiple like this. But we like that game. We like the idea of building a path and then hitting go and seeing what happens. And so that's kind of what we stuck with. We said, all right, well, let's do something where you can build a path and I came up with the animals idea because I found the pack and I was like, hey, we could be delivering animals to the ark. Um, so yeah, it just kind of came about like that, and then the theme didn't match perfectly. But this was one of those jams where we said, it's not about the theme for us in this jam. It's just about making a game we want to make.
Yeah, okay, I watched that one. I
Yeah,
see.
your
So
guy picked
it's
up the elephant.
yep. I gotta account for the simultaneity of what's happening. Um, nice. Okay, I am. I think I'm starting to understand uh, the nature of the game and like where the challenge comes from and how to construct these paths. But then again, I'm not sure if I'll be able to focus and actually execute on it properly while I'm still trying to have a conversation and do the stream at the same time.
Right.
But um, yeah, so the the game is built in Unity, right? Or is it built in Unity or a different
Yeah,
engine?
it's in Unity.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I see. Wow, you really filled out like everything here. Nice. It's very comprehensive. Um, okay, so you do you have a tip or trick that you'd like to recommend to other developers that use Unity?
Well, I don't, my partner might have better things to say about the tips and tricks with Unity because he knows more of the meat of that program. I mean, I do what I can in there. Um, I guess it would just it's really, not really a trick. It's just really get used to finding where things are in Unity. Because there's so many tools that I might not even know exist that would make life 100% easier if you just knew where it was in Unity. You know, make sure to Google as much as you can if you're looking for something specific, so you don't do a bunch of work and then realize that hey, Unity already has everything set up for UI or for porting it to mobile or whatever. And it's like I was trying to do that myself, so that's all. I guess that would be my tip.
Yeah, no, it's a good suggestion to make sure that you don't end up reinventing the wheel. Um, gosh, I this one level has immediately got me stumped. Like it doesn't feel like it should be that hard, but just somehow.
Sometimes it is for some people that a lot of I've been watching a lot of people play this, and there are just certain levels where I know you're having a conversation, so it's a little different. But some levels just stump some, and then some just go through it and then get stumped on something else. It's very interesting.
Yeah, like I feel like the sort of core mechanic of the game is what I'm not understanding. Like, how do I? Okay, I think just because of the fact that, like, weirdly, because of the fact that you're allowed to cross over paths, I'd say that. No, okay, then that's wrong. Darn it. Um. Wow.
I
This is
think
gonna
you
need another one
actually
of those
no,
drop
you
another.
got it.
Well, I've dropped the link in chat once again so that other people can try it out because I'm stumped. Like I got to go back to an earlier level and just figure out what I'm not getting and how you're supposed to do this. Okay, so whoop! Oh no! I just sort of erased my whole path there. All right, I think. Okay. I guess that's the only downside to the ability to like edit a path from clicking at any point is that it is a little easy to accidentally.
Right.
Oh, like what I just did there. I don't even know how I did that.
Yeah, we worked some things in there to try and make it easier, but then we realized, well, there's a lot of little things like, oh, if you're holding down the mouse, that shouldn't happen. If you're trying to do something, we want it to make it as intuitive as possible, and we did a pretty good job. But I think there's still a few things where we can optimize a little better and be like, we know what the player wants to do, so let's make it easy for the player to do it.
Yeah, I think it's just a simple matter of
You
if
got it.
the yeah I finally simple words. I think it's a simple matter of if the mouse has already been pressed down, you don't want to trigger the
Right.
path erasure. Like, that should only happen on click, not on help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead,
Um,
jump to level 6. It's-
sure.
it starts changing a little bit, so maybe 6 is a little
Oh boy,
yeah.
there's a drop off point. Oh no, my brain is already fully taxed on what I've been doing so far. Um,
Don't worry about the drop off point in it. It's just a red herring, basically.
well, oh, okay, let's see what happens. Yeah. Oh, okay, it might be a red herring unless I do it differently.
And use it,
Okay.
but yeah.
Well, okay, let's do something like that. Space filling curve. Uh, maybe that counts. Something? I guess we'll see. No, because that's still wrong. Okay, then drop off and then pick up. Okay, so I kind of have that figured out, but okay. Oh my gosh. It's funny because Dr. Tronic said that this seems like an educational game. And I agree. The artwork is definitely something that you'd see, like probably, it's very friendly towards even really young kids. Nonetheless, the puzzles are stumping me really severely. But I do appreciate you've got the level select here, just so you can jump through and take a quick look at all the.
You got this one. At 7. Come on, you got 7. Go to 7.
uh,
Only got 7. You know what the baskets do. So you basically got 7 down already.
I mean, you say that, but
See, you
if
got it down. You
okay,
got it
if
so
the
down immediately.
if the it's the funny thing I was gonna say, like if the solution is a like nice geometrically symmetrical pattern, then I think I got it. But otherwise, okay, yeah. So that one's. I would almost recommend having 7 come before 6 because this, by nature of what it is, I
And
don't.
this one, the basket's not even really. It's not part of the puzzle. It was supposed to be
You have
like,
to
oh, this
avoid
one's
it.
pretty simple. And then when you got to the end, you were like, whoa, like it was kind of a surprise trap for the player. But yeah.
Uh, okay, but how do I avoid without no? Oh, just like this. Okay, maybe. No, not quite. Okay, but if I sort of go the long way around like that, no, I don't. I definitely don't want that.
Go along.
Uh, okay.
Just finding the right timing. That's all.
Yeah, okay. So a couple of suggestions that I think I would have. Small UI things. It would be nice to see which level I'm on currently, like to have
Oh
these
yeah, that's broken.
highlighted with color.
It's supposed to be.
Uh, okay, I figured. The other thing that would be really helpful is if these were numbered. Like you could have like maybe just hold down a button to see a small number over the square, so you could tell at what point a character is going to reach a given tile. Um, just so you could plan out your timing a little bit better. Because I realize that the trick to this one is to really see who's going to. Okay, so you go extra far, so you need to sort of like go around and like that. Okay, so now they reach them simultaneously. Oh, okay, so yeah, I 1, 2, 3. Yeah, oh, okay, so it was really just
Yeah, that's it. And this one did. If you were gonna count, sure. I guess there's some counting involved in this one, but I know I didn't want to make most of the levels this kind of thing where it's like, oh, I got to make sure I get there first. There are a couple levels that are about timing, but
mhm.
most of them are just about path optimization really the main focus.
Okay. So yeah, I would say that it's only important, the suggestion of having the numbers, if the levels really leaned into that. Um, otherwise, yeah, otherwise I'd say it's fine to for it to not be that way.
When you say numbers, do you mean like the amount of path that you have down?
Yes. So like
Oh,
if I start drawing out a space, and I held down a button, I know there's a bit of a stream delay, but what you would see is like I hold down a button and then I would see like the number uh, appear sort of like uh,
one next to the guy and then two, and you just kind of hover over it. Yeah, I can see that.
something like that. Yeah. But again, it would be more helpful if that was if you had puzzles that leaned into that. But on the other
Right.
hand, if you had that as part of the UI, it might give you the flexibility to make more levels that leaned on that as part of the challenge. So
Yes.
it's a possibility, especially when you've got something. Oh, oh my goodness, this level. It seems very daunting on the surface because almost like when you give me a whole bunch of open space, the possibility space just like spirals out of control. When I've got a more constrained level where there's a limit and there's like some places blocked off, then it actually becomes slightly easier to figure out what the paths are supposed to be because I had to figure out like how to manage the space where I can't go.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things for me personally as a level designer is, there were some games where linear is okay, but games like this, I like where there are more than one ways to solve a puzzle, right? So
Oh, of
I would
course.
build this to where, okay, yellow's gonna get the owls, purple's gonna get the rhinos, right? And I build that out. And then once I'm done, I go back in, I say, okay, but what if I want this guy to get these animals? And I do that just to make sure, okay, yeah, there is a way that that works. And then watching streamers, I've already seen multiple ways people came up with, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know I could do that. So it's really cool to see people solve it in different ways rather than such a linear experience, or you got to make the path go exactly in this direction. That.
Yeah, and for that point, I completely agree. I don't like puzzle games where it's just a matter of finding out the exact right sequence. Um, like that level that I just finished, I realized I was sort of making it out to be more difficult than it actually was. Um, because the extra space kind of gave me the flexibility. I'm always a fan of puzzles that have more than one solution because like maybe there's an optimal solution, but if you're trying to just get the basics of getting from start to finish, then it's not so torturous. And I definitely appreciate that.
And another thing I like to do is, um, you know, get something down. You show a level. You say this is what it's about. This is the mechanic you're dealing with in this level. And then the next level, obviously, you make it a little harder. And then when somebody, just as they start to get the mechanic and they got it down, I like to throw that away and just be like, okay, here's the next level. Now we're doing something different, and just kind of have that progression where you'll see that again and it'll come back, but it's time to learn something new rather than just having 5, 6 levels of the exact same thing but like a different configuration.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely agree that it's like the variety is always
You
better.
got this one too.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, it was
Quick.
slowly figuring it out. Um, it's funny, like some of the earlier levels were giving me more trouble when the mechanic hadn't clicked in my brain. That was exactly what I was
Right.
kind of describing was my issue. Was like I don't quite know what I should be striving for just yet. Um, yeah, turns out all I had to do was just stop treating this as an interview show and focus on the game to the detriment of everything else, which
You'd
is
be
usually what I
surprised
try to
how
avoid.
people get stuck on these forever. I mean, you're talking and you're still going through them. So uh,
Well,
you're pretty good at it.
I would say that I'm talking through my thought process, so I can still vocalize my thoughts. I'm not most of it is not related to the actual interview process that I'd normally be doing. But that being said, do you have any plans for this game going forward?
Yes, well, we do want to, spruce it up, kind of adjust some of the levels, take a lot of the feedback, fix, any pathing things that would be more intuitive for the player. Um, but maybe add another obstacle, something interesting that feels like it fits. But it's not going to be an overhaul. It's just going to be, let's kind of trim it around, make it good, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much. Maybe make a mobile version. Um, and yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Nice. All right. Well, uh, cool. I'm gonna give this a try and see if I'm anywhere close.
This is one of
Oh,
the
not
timing
quite.
ones.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so I still think I'm gonna lean on my recommendation for having the numbers appear because I think it would be a help. Um, I guess my advice in general for mobile games always is, um, are you able like so this is built in Unity, and have you released games on mobile before?
We've played around with it, and that's more of my partner's expertise in just the
Mhm.
Unity and uh, how to do mobile through that. But we've messed around with it. We haven't actually really put anything out there, but we felt like this was one of those that you could just imagine pulling out of your pocket, playing a couple levels, putting it back, and it just felt like it might be good for a mobile version.
Yes, I agree that this is the sort of thing that you could play on a phone with a touchscreen. However, for the effort involved in releasing a game, like if it's not something you've actually done before, I would strongly advise pursuing development of the game on a desktop release. Um, First and foremost, and see what the popularity is. See maybe even if there's like a number of sales, like a sales goal that you need to hit before people will potentially get a version on mobile, because it takes a lot of time and effort to release a game on mobile. Like slightly, there's a small financial commitment if you're releasing on Android. It's slightly more if you're releasing on iOS. Um, but mobile games are really releasing on mobile is really not all it's cracked up to be. I'd hate for you to put in a lot of time and effort expecting this to do well on mobile, when I think the sad reality is that unless a game is a Farmville or Match 3 clone, or something that really leans heavily into microtransactions, it's just not going to do well. So if you want to release this game on mobile as a sort of experimentation, like a portfolio piece or something, then it could be a worthwhile experiment. But I would never. I guess I should say I would always caution people away from mobile if it's something they're actually expecting to like make money on, unless it is either Match 3 or Farmville, some sort of
Mm.
gotcha game.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. For me and my partner, we have no plan of selling any games at this point. It is just for portfolio to show people. It's just for us. We're just having fun. We like creating games. We always talk about there's going to be that one game that takes us a while to do, and we're going to, sell it or get it out there. But until that day, we're just having fun, learning things, trying things, building things. So, any attempt to go mobile will just be for us, just to see how it works and all
Okay.
that. But it's very good points, and I agree completely.
Yeah, okay. I never want to see anyone blindsided after putting in a whole bunch of effort into something. And yeah, as long as it sounds like you've got the right attitude about it, especially, the easiest way is always to go like Android first as a trial. Like my advice is always like build it with desktop in mind, like an interface that works just as well on desktop as it does on mobile. Like rely everything on like mouse clicks, but sort of like a horizontal version of the interface that would also work on like Android tablets, maybe. And then once you've got it on desktop, you can also release on Android tablet. And then if it starts to do well enough, then you can maybe make a vertical version that works. And then you can also consider putting it on iPhone, sort of, but lean on the desktop to support the mobile version, which unfortunately, doing that, anyone on Steam is like, oh, this is just a port of a mobile game. I don't want to pay money for something that should be free. It's like, Oh my gosh, people are so elitist when it comes to these things, and it's really unfortunate. They're just games. What do you care what you're playing it on? But anyway, I don't want to rain on your parade, and as long, yeah, I think that as I said, you've got a good attitude about the plan to approach the game, and yeah, if you do end up making another version of the game, I would love to have you back on stream and have a chat about it. Is if like perhaps both you and your partner could both participate in the interview at the same time.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Um, sorry to give you another puzzle two in a row. I seen the last one you did was another puzzle like this, so
It's okay. It's okay. At least I felt like I made more progress on this one. The previous game I was playing, the Thousand Blue Shells, was just
yeah.
really breaking my brain. So this actually felt satisfying to feel like I could make some progress on this one, even if it took me a little bit of time to figure out the
Yeah,
core
no,
mechanic.
you did well for sure.
All right. But yeah, just to show things off, I'll click on to the last couple levels of the game so people can see what those look like. But yeah, super well done, and um, yeah, thanks for hopping back on the call and being willing to talk me through it. And
Yeah, that was fun.
so yeah, where can people find you on social media? And do you have any other projects that you'd like to plug?
We don't really have, social media. I mean, we have a YouTube, but really, um, we're just doing it for fun right now. Nothing much to plug. Um, but just the itch page would be great, just because like, it has a lot of our games there. Some of them were featured by people like Mark Brown and stuff like that in their videos. So yeah, we just like making games, mostly puzzles, but trying to get into some other stuff too. So yeah,
Thanks. All right, well, I'll absolutely share the link to your itch.io page here.
thank you.
And as I said, look forward to seeing future progress in this game, and please feel free to send along any others that you'd like me to take a look at.
Sounds great. So much.
All right, have yourself a good evening.
Yeah.
Bye bye.